And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Insert More Coins. Tonight, I have a debut author with his first interview and read his book. It is incredible. It is The Apostle of Andras, and that is G.C. Cameron. How is it going, my friend? How are you doing tonight?
I'm going very well. How are you doing?
I am doing pretty well. It has been a long day, but it's all over with now. Nothing but the fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I've been looking forward to this the entire day, so happy to
well,
be here.
awesome. I have too. I've been waiting. This has one of the coolest covers I've ever seen. I absolutely loved it. It looks amazing. And I forgot to tell you before we got started, I will add your email or whatever it is where we can send, or Amazon listing where if anyone wants to go and purchase the book, I'll do that whenever
Oh,
I do the replay. So
awesome.
that'll help you out. We've got Mark in here. What's going on, Mark? How are we doing this evening? Oh,
Howdy.
all right. So I guess let's get this show on the road and tell me about your book.
Well, let's see. Elevator pitch, I would say it's religious Green Lanterns fighting for themselves and demons for the glory of their gods is the most succinct way I can put it. But the main story follows Hayden, and he's on this battlefield. He is a metaphysical, a sorcerer, a rare breed of human that can use their imagination and will to basically form things at will, makes them run super fast, dodge bullets. And he's caught in a religious war between two main factions, the Republic and the Kingdom. And during this, he gets visited by one of the three main gods of the universe and said, "You are going to be my new champion on the mortal realm to basically make sure that I win this covert war between the gods that try to win the physical plane so they have all the souls and become the sole master of the universe." And that is the main thrust of the story. There are other POV characters, namely another apostle and a few other um, aliens, I would say, that working behind the scenes, but I won't spoil more than that.
Yes, it was excellent read. Like I said, I told you before we went live, it's one of the coolest beginning chapters I think I've ever read. Action packed and deaths that you don't think are going to happen in it, which is
Yeah,
what I think's really cool about it is through the whole book is there's people that die in it that you don't think will, but that's how war actually is.
yeah.
So,
And that was a big thing for me is one, the establishment of like meaningful stakes in the story as well, that you're not comfortable with these characters being alive, that you're actually wondering a little bit on the edge of your seat of like maybe these characters aren't safe. Like I'm not exactly bloodthirsty like George R. R. Martin in the way I don't necessarily look to do it, but I want to make sure the reader's at the edge of their seat. And like I said with the beginning, I wanted to have a kind of an easy hook, so to speak, to keep the reader interested and kind of like throw them off pace a little bit. So,
all right, I really enjoyed your magic system in this too. Can you go over that a little bit?
sure. Like the like development in my head or
Yeah, that's
just
fine.
so yeah. So the magic system was a huge priority for me as it is most of the main characters are metaphysicals, and I wanted a grounded system that people not only can follow along easily, but has a bit of depth to it as well if you like kind of explore it. Um, so I mean, the simple thing is like if you can imagine it, it can basically come into existence basically, and that is also tempered by the fact of what you know. Like The common example I use is like a metaphysical can form a gun, very easy to do. But if it like the metaphysical is a gunsmith, they know how the gun works. And so reality kind of fights back against you less, as the power that they use is kind of conflicting with reality with a bit. But if you form something that is a bit more in line with it, then reality fights back with you less, as the main drawback of the magic system is that if you use too much, then you get tired and could like pass out, or you could like break your magic circuits basically. And a huge part of that is I wanted it to, like I said, be easy to follow, um, and have ways to show that a person has skill in it. Because a lot of like I've seen like with Harry Potter, where like you have like Voldemort and Dumbledore, where they're obviously like these super powerful individuals, but you never really see like how they are, because like sure you just kind of got to pronounce the word correctly and then you can shoot the spell, but you never get to see like
Mhm.
how or why they're more powerful than the others. And it's with things like the weld system, where you have to use gold and silver and like write these words, and you have to do this in a very complicated manner to show, as a way to also show like there's a depth to it and that there's skill involved as well. That yeah, you can just like throw around plasma bolts and guns all you want, but if you really want to be on that top edge, the top 1% of magic users, you have to be good at weld crafting as well. That's why I made that weld system, as well as the kind of show of the depth of the characters as well. Drake is a prime example of that with his like
Mm.
armor, um, to kind of like showcase how powerful it is, because no other character has that. Um, let's see. But I also wanted to have a clear set of rules, because that's a kind of a gripe with me personally, is like when a magic system does not have clearly defined rules and they kind of just break them at will. Um, so I wanted, it was a constant process for me to make sure that the rules are there, and that if there was a obvious loophole that a character could do to escape a certain moment, that I would patch that. Like this was a 7-year process of getting the magic system to work in a way that I actually liked. Like when I started writing this in would be 2017, the magic system was completely different from what it
Oh
is
wow.
now.
Yeah.
So that's about what I had to say about it.
Yeah. What's going on, EL? Yeah. He said I love good magic.
I
Okay,
love
so
good
you
magic
said
too.
you like specific, like it's got guidelines and stuff basically for magic.
Mm.
So are you not technically against, but like would you rather not be like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings where it's like, oh, he's a wizard, so he can do anything type deal?
Um, I would say that's a bit of a different case, because he's very unique in the setting. So it serves a similar, it serves a different purpose than something like Harry Potter, or something like Star Wars, where their
Mhm.
magic system's a lot more common. They're a lot more showcase of the story. Meanwhile, Gandalf is already showcased to be this kind of angelic demigod-ish type being. So it's a lot
Yeah.
more easy for me to accept that they can just kind of do things with that story, because most of the characters are just normal people. Um, and Gandalf doesn't do a whole lot of things anyways that kind of like break the
Yeah.
story in a way that like kind of is like an easy cheat. Um, so I would say it's a bit of a different showcase. Like I think soft magic systems are good in small quantities,
Mhm.
on that a little bit of mysticism to the story itself. But if something like Harry Potter or mine, where they're a huge part, where basically all the characters are using them, I think then that the rules are very, very important, not only for the reader to follow, but so that you have story consistency and you're not allowing yourself to get out of sticky situations because you wrote yourself into a corner, basically.
Yeah. EL said the ability to depend on what your characters can use makes the story more enjoyable.
Mhm.
I would agree with that. Yeah, it reminds like just speaking on Gandalf to me, like I've not read Lord of the Rings. I just got through reading The Hobbit, but I've watched the movies. I don't even know how many times. It seems like most of his magic is done off the page. And I could be wrong. I mean, there
Yeah.
are a few times, but especially in like The Hobbit, there's not much he really does on the
Yeah.
page. It's like everything's behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've watched the movies. I've not read the books either, but yeah, a lot of the stuff is like with the fight with the Balrog, like that's entirely
Mhm.
off screen. So I
Yeah.
would say that's a lot less of a red flag for me in that instance.
Yeah. So, what was your inspiration in writing this book?
Um, Inspiration, I took it from a couple different things. I took a lot from Jim Butcher's series with the Harry Dresden
Mhm.
novels. I took some from the Alara, the Alara Codex series as well, one of his other series. A few other, I think a little bit of Star Wars. I don't know. It's kind of all blended together at this moment. But I took a lot of bits and pieces that I liked from each. Um, I don't even know if I reference like Green Lantern as a good example of magic system a lot. But I don't even know if um, I even referenced that much. But what really got me into like writing um, itself was I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I remember like walking out after watching episode 8 and I despised that movie. um I think it
Uh-huh.
was a disservice to Star Wars in its entirety. And I was thinking, I was like, if writing like this is can be put on the big screen, like why can't I do something?
Mhm.
um and after that, I think I started to kind of formulate the series in my mind. And by 2017, I actually started putting words on the page and started my first draft from there. Um, so I would say, honestly, like spite was a huge contributing factor.
Hey, that
And then
happens
it,
a lot. If you think about I've talked to a couple authors are like, they read a book or they watch a movie and like, I can do that better. And then they
mhm.
go on to write their own book.
So I would really say that that was a I don't know if inspiration is the right word, but that was a big driving factor for me. It was like looking at the state of things, like okay, I could do that. That like the bar isn't that high apparently. Um,
Yeah.
um, and it eventually became like a more of a general love of wanting to like put something good out there so people can enjoy my story. But at the beginning, it was kind of fueled by that. So.
Yeah. So you said you're a big Dresden fan or writing
Mhm.
stuff like how many of those books have you read?
I've read them all at the
Really?
moment. Um I have his latest one sitting on my
Okay.
counter. I haven't been able to read it yet.
I've heard
But
it's
I
really
will
good.
soon. Has it? Okay.
That's what I've been told. Now, I've only read the first book and it was okay, but everyone
Mhm.
says like after book 3 is where it gets great. And I know
Yeah,
that's
I
weird. It's like which is like a fantasy thing, like, oh, just wait till you get to book whatever, then it gets good. But like literally everybody that I've talked to or even watched booktube videos about says book 3 is where it really gets going and it's really good after that. So
um I actually think that was one of the I think it's like the third fantasy series that I read. I think it was like Harry
okay.
Potter, then I read the Rhyria Chronicles, and then Harry Dresden. Um, and I tore through a lot of those books.
Yeah.
I remember reading a whole one in like one day.
Oh wow. Now that's the Royce and Hadrian stuff. Is that the
Yes.
okay?
Mhm.
I've not read any of that, but I've heard that they're very good too.
They are.
Well,
I try to get my wife to read the Harry Dresden books, but
mm,
she didn't like them.
yeah,
She calls them the Henry Drew series to mock
true.
them.
Yeah, yeah. uh, all right. So, what influences did you have to become an author?
Influenced Dad to become an author. Uh, I don't know if I had a huge amount of. I would say that I don't know if I had a huge amount of influences, but a big contributing part to my like writing journey was a lot of YouTube videos dissecting writing, Mahler, Little Platoon, things of that like that, where they like dissect movies
Mhm.
and they explain like why and shows like why that didn't work and why this didn't. It really got me into writing and it made me like check my own and wanted me to like build something great, something that if something that like if those like channels watched or read my book series, like okay, this guy did it right. Um, so that was a big influence for me of wanting to produce something that was good.
Okay. What was your like process in writing this?
So went through a lot of changes. I will tell you that because the book as it is right now is so completely different from how I originally had it. I don't even remember what the original story really was. Like I had Hayden, but the story itself was so radically different. I don't even know if when I first wrote it, if you even like talked to the god or not. It's been so long. I've thrown away like 1,000 pages worth of stuff,
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
rewriting this over and over again.
Yeah.
Um, like I'd say about 2019 is when the story took a more close shape to what it is now. It was a lot. It was the book itself was a lot more compacted. Like the first book that's out now would have been like half of what I originally had for the story to go through. Like it would, like, this would like the first book was just like half, and then if I had like had my way, it would have been we've gone through all the events in this book and then gone through all the way to what I have planned for the third book.
Mhm.
And I then realized that one, it would have been like 1,000 pages long, which would not have been good for a debut novel.
Yeah.
But also like all of the intricacies, the character dynamics would not be properly fleshed out if I did it like that. So I had to go back to the drawing board and came up with stopping at the ending it is at now. And at the time, I also realized that a lot of the characters were not what I wanted them to be. Like all of them were kind of just like bad people because I was just I was a kind of a bit of an edgy teen, so all of them were like, all like at best anti-heroes
Yeah.
and like Marcan, like he was just like an instructor. He had no real greater purpose beyond that, and he was just plain out evil. Um, Aaron, he was also evil. Like no one was like no one was really like a heroic character, and I realized that like who are people gonna root for basically.
Yeah.
Um, so I had to go back and scrap a lot of character concepts because I also thought that Hayden also wasn't exactly a strong protagonist as well. It was also in first person, and I had multiple first
Oh,
person POVs. I also
okay.
realized that that wasn't going to work. So I then went back and switched everything to third person. But I think now, after doing all those rewrites, it came out a lot better now, and I'm actually like, okay, this works.
Mm.
I was actually able to like, okay, we can put this out now.
Mm.
But yeah, that
I'm
was. Oh, continue.
no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Oh yeah, but like I said, this took like 7 years to get
Yeah.
all the way through.
So I'm pretty sure I know this answer, but would you consider yourself a plotter or a pantser?
What's pantser? Oh, by flying by the seat of
Just
my
fly by the
pants.
seat of your pants.
I would definitely say I'm more of a plotter. I have like everything from book 1 to 5 like already planned out,
Yeah.
and I would say that that is the better way to go, as it allows for a lot more foreshadowing and stuff. Like there is, like I have talked to my brother, who is one like probably say like the biggest fan of my work,
Mhm.
and I told him that you can figure out the ending of the series just from the first book,
Okay.
because I put like lots of little hints in there,
Mhm.
and like people like eventually when I do finish the series and like they look back like, oh, okay, that's what that was pointing to. It's not
Yeah.
super obvious like just from now, but I do have all that laid out. So I would say that is the way to go, is
Yeah.
being a plotter. But a huge part of that was also defining characters, as I think that if you can properly flesh out your character traits and what exactly they want, and then you place them down where you want the world after you do your world building, I fully believe that you can just have them basically interact and watch them play out, and then your story will just write itself, basically.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got the Mike Moleman up in here. Hello, Mike. How are you doing this evening?
Hello.
So I noticed, like you said, you put like little details in it to where you could figure it out, like on what's going to
Hmm.
happen. I know, like Sanderson does that a lot with his books too. Is like it's just either like one little sentence or something might sound just a little off, and
Mm.
by the time you get to the story, you're like, oh, I remember that.
Hmm.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of the like religious passages in the book
Mhm.
are also supposed to be that little bit of foreshadowing as well.
Mhm.
With Lothamo and his whole journey is supposed to mirror Hayden's in a way.
Yeah. Okay. So, how did you come up with your characters?
Um, One for Drake, I had a huge amount of fun writing him. I just wanted a really powerful character that kind of just bulldozed through everything, and that had like such a strong sense of like will and strength that basically everything bowed before him. That was my
Mhm.
main inspiration. If you ever watch the show The Seven Deadly Sins, there's a character
I
called Hendrix.
love that show.
Yeah, the sun guy, I kind of based Drake
Yes.
off of
Yeah.
him, of just like that type of archetype.
Yeah.
Um, and then for Mark Hannon, I kind of wanted that shadow figure that's like everything, like
Okay.
manipulating behind the scenes.
Mhm.
He was a bit hard to write, as for those types of characters, you need like someone that's like of huge intelligence, and sometimes for a lot of authors that can kind of get lost as you're not as smart as those characters are. Um, so that took a lot of plotting to do. For for characters like Carla Carla Voy, I wanted kind of a fun villain archetype, someone that you're not necessarily rooting for, but it's like it's fun to watch them do stuff,
Yeah.
was the main focus of that. And then with Crisanti, I wanted a kind of like a tragic love dynamic with that. And for Aaron and Viviana, supposed to be one like Hayden's natural allies, but a lot of the drama of the group as well. Yeah, I have a lot of characters to go through, but it was a lot of the characters were just fun little ideas in my head that I wanted to each kind of expand on an archetype a bit. Oh, and Lexi and Quincy, I had so much fun writing them, like with her notebook and the guitar. And a lot of that was kind of based off of like getting Drake that more increased presence that like Drake literally has a band to follow him around and like a bard basically to showcase off him that he has literally like a rock music playing whenever he does stuff was the main stuff of that.
Yeah. We got Josh up in here. What's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Yeah. Talking about like 7 deadly sins, like I can see that now with like you're talking about like the lion guy or whatever, that before he gets like super huge and jacked and powerful, he's just a little skinny guy with glasses and scared of everything. That's really cool.
Yeah, I was just like, what if you just removed the skinny guy and just made him powerful? And that was a big inspiration for Drake.
Yeah, which I guess he's pride, which that totally makes sense too, because Drake reminded me of someone that's like almost a jerk, but he's just like, to me, I guess he's just like so confident that he doesn't care what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, that was a big thing of just like he is prideful, but he's also like the most powerful person in the universe basically, and he has literally a god telling him what he's doing is right. So like, can you really blame the guy for being a bit prideful? So that was kind of, because you usually have those archetypes of the prideful characters when they don't really like real reason to, and that's kind of like their downfall basically of when that's showcased. But I was like, but what if like he had reasons to be prideful? And that will bite him in the butt eventually, but I wanted it to be like an actual reason why they were prideful.
So do you have a favorite character out of any of these people?
A favorite character? I would definitely have to say that I either liked writing Drake or Carlavoy the most. That because Carlavoy has such an impact on the story, even though he's not necessarily as powerful as Drake, and it's just kind of doing things behind the scenes. Drake was also just incredibly fun to write because of just, like you said, how powerful he is. So everything just focuses on him whenever he's on stage. Like the spotlight is just all on him. So that made writing the combat scenes really interesting and fun. And like and hand in hand that goes with like Lexi and Quincy, because I like doing their power systems.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite line that you wrote, or sentence, or?
I mean, I have to go with like slaying demons is worship in every faith. Like it's that whole mantra. I think one, it's a highly marketable line, but I think it's really showcases the series as well. Did you have a favorite character?
Well, it was gonna be Deanna or Danny, however it is. She was probably gonna be my favorite, but she was in the beginning. We'll say that. But yeah, no, I really liked Hayden, and then his god, Andras, if I say that right.
Andras.
I think Andras. Yeah, I'll get it eventually. I really liked him. Just, I don't know. Something about him just made me think like, this dude is, I mean, for one, he's a god. So what is he really worried about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. He's just got a different way of talking about stuff. It's like, no one's going to kill me. I'm good.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of people, a lot of like my beta readers, they really liked Delaney.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they thought he was like really cute with like her stumbling about and stuff,
Yeah.
like trying to do her best. So no, I did right there. Almost feel bad for what happens to her, but
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, me. So are you planning on maybe eventually putting out an audiobook?
eventually, yeah. When I get the funds for it, I'll probably
Yeah.
do that because apparently a lot of people only consume books through audio format these days. So I think that's a good thing to
Okay.
tap into.
Yeah. That's how I get 90% of my stuff read because I drive so long. And by the time I make it
Mhm.
home, I'm too tired to read much. So I can listen to an audiobook for 10 hours, because I'm driving
Mhm.
down the road. I've been, which I just started 2 2 days ago, yesterday, but I've been rolling through Empire of the Vampire.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's pretty good.
I'm reading the third book of that series right now.
Oh, are you?
Um,
Okay. Okay. You
yeah,
liking it so far?
I am liking it. I would say that vampires are my favorite fantasy creature,
Mhm.
partially due to the fact that like yes, they're like in most iterances they are like very fast, very powerful that a normal human couldn't take them down normally, but they also have a lot of weaknesses. So it
Mm.
leads to a lot of interesting narrative conflict and things that you can do in a scene of what
Yeah.
you can do with them because they're kind of balanced out that way. And yeah, I just love a good vampire story. I always search for like good ones, but they're all like romance novels.
Yeah.
You never
Well,
find a good one.
I had posted on I think it was my YouTube account that I'd started it, and someone wrote on one of the comments that was like, "I don't know if I like it. I'm really tired of like all these beautiful vampire books and stuff." And I'm like, "I get it, but the more I read, this ain't really like that. Don't get me wrong. There's some beautiful vampires, or whatever, but
Yeah.
this stuff gets brutal."
Oh yes, it does. It only
Like,
gets more brutal from there. But yeah,
does it?
Jay Kristoff is very good.
Yeah.
Definitely an up and
There
coming author.
there's
So
a couple of scenes that I not a big fan of, but so far, yeah, it's pretty dang good. I was pretty
yeah.
impressed by what I've read so far. Let's see. Hill said, I do audio for all my books and I read probably 70% plus my books in audio. Yep. And I've read or listened to dang near all of ELs. Someone started lost. I think it might be Rowdy. Actually, no, it is not me. So it's someone else, but I'm starting it next week. I've got one more book after Empire of the Vampire that I have to get done before the end of February if I can. And that is Lightbringer has to be done. And then Lost Girl is up after that. Have you listened to any of EL's books or read them?
I have not. What are they
They're
about?
very good. He's got a bunch of different ones, different genres, and they're all good. And he does it himself. He narrates it himself. Very
Okay.
good. Tim McKay does that as well. His books are good too. Does his own narration.
Yeah.
See you
I'll
later,
have to
Mike. Thanks for
see
coming
it.
and hanging out for a bit.
Yeah, I'll have to look into see what the cost of that would be to get an audio
Mm,
format done then.
yeah, yeah. It seems like, and I just my own personal preference. A word of advice: keep the same. If you're going to do a series, keep the same narrator the whole time. Do not switch because it throws me off big time. It's like this ain't even the same series anymore. Like, what are we doing? So,
I'll keep that in mind
yeah.
then.
All right. So, are you working on any other projects right now?
Yes, I'm currently working on the second book. I my goal is to do about a chapter each week. So the hope is that with God's grace that I can get the other one out by next year if
Yeah.
things are lucky. I don't know if that timeline is going to actually be accurate, but I think now that I have a good writing process down, I think it can be done. Especially like it possibly do get picked up by a publishing company to help do that type
Mm.
of stuff. Um, so we'll see. I also have been working on and off on a TTRPG for my
Okay,
series. I've been doing the rules for that, kind of like a D&D thing.
that's cool.
So it's kind of like if the series does well, might do like a Kickstarter to try and get that
Mhm.
out there. So I can get like a nice like rule book with a little bit of artwork and stuff like that. If not, then might just be bare bones,
Yeah.
but we shall see. It would be, but it is my hope that I can do something like that. Would also want to do like a possibly like a war game, like 40K as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Would also be a
Yeah.
dream of mine, but a lot of that is contingent on if it takes off or not. So,
I could see the 40K thing being legit because of how big some of your battle scenes are.
mhm.
Where like especially like in the beginnings, one of them too, where there's so many people around, but you've got like these massive. Yeah, I could see that. That'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I think it would it lend itself really well to it because I have like a lot of specifications for like what weapons
Mhm.
like vehicles have and like
Yeah.
what each side in their armament and armies would have. And I think that the metaphysicals would also be an interesting way to supplement your armies as well. So I think it would work out really well if I was able to get that done. But I don't know war games very well, so I'd have to bring in
Mm.
other people, which is additional costs, which I cannot really fund
Yeah.
myself. So, like I said, it kind of it's dependent on other things, basically.
Yeah. So, do you have like a dream project you hope to start one day? Like, is there anything that's just like at one point, this is what I want to do?
Well, I would. My dream thing is that I would get like an animated show of
Okay.
the book series. Would be like
Yeah.
that's like I did it. Would basically be it. Um, or like getting my series like into like comic format because I think it would lend itself well to that. Um, so I'd say that those are like my like high up there goals.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So, all right, let's switch little gears here and get to know you a little bit more. So, I
Hmm.
noticed you talked about like hoping to make it if you can into like games and stuff. So, are you a gamer?
Yeah, I have played D&D since I was like 12. I love those types of role playing games. I think partially it is. I used to like GM for them as well. I think that's lent well
Uh,
to my writing tendencies. My players always liked my campaigns that I ran. Um, yeah, I've done fantasy things like that. I'm not a war gamer as much, but my brother Max, he's really into it. Um,
yeah.
so I enjoy listening to him rant about his models.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
But, I play a good amount of video games when I can, um, or not as much time nowadays, but,
Mhm. What's the last can you remember what the last game you played was?
I play Marvel Rivals.
Oh, okay, okay. I actually just started, Cyberpunk 2077 on,
Mm,
my son got a Switch too, so I'm playing it on it. That game's pretty dang good. I'm
yeah,
enjoying it. Oh,
nice. I played some of that a while back. I went for, like, a Netrunner agility build,
okay.
but that
Yeah,
was pretty fun.
yeah, I think I've started it 3 times, like, I had a, Steam Deck and started it on it, and then I got rid of the Steam Deck, and then I think I was playing it on Xbox for a bit, and then just quit with it, and then my son got the Switch too, and I was like, I might mess with it on it," and it runs really good. I was surprised, for
Yeah,
it to be a Nintendo.
that game had a bit of a black and
Yeah,
white development cycle. It did
yeah,
not launch well, but
yeah,
they pulled through. They stuck the
mhm,
landing, I would say.
yeah,
Hopefully, their next cyberpunk project has a bit of a more graceful start, I would say.
yeah. What's your, do you have a favorite game of all time, like your the GOAT?
A favorite game, I'd say XCOM 2. I
Oh,
remember being quite addicted to that a
yeah.
while back. That I love the turn-based aspect
Mhm.
and like building up my ship, and like on the higher difficulty settings it truly made you feel like you were this resistance faction trying to stop the aliens. Like it provided a good amount of satisfaction for me. I got really into it during the COVID era where you just couldn't really do much,
Yeah.
so yeah, I spent way too much time on that.
I got it for my Switch, or not my Switch, but my Steam Deck probably this has been nearly 3 years ago. I think I bought it for like $2 on a Steam sale, and that game's incredible. Like,
Oh
I mean,
yes.
I'm terrible at it, but it is so fun. So
Yeah,
fun.
I'm sad they haven't really released an XCOM 3, but there's a new series called Menace that's kind of in
Okay.
a similar vein
Mhm.
that I would also like to pick up eventually, but we'll see if I do. But it looks very similar because I do like that turn-based combat system a lot.
Yeah. I've been messing with a little, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, a little of it. I don't know if you've played with it or not, but
I have not.
it's a different different battle mechanic. So, all right. So, what do you need in your workspace whenever you're writing? Like, do you like candles? Do you put headphones on? Do you turn on music? Like, what's your process in that?
Yeah, usually my process goes that I'll go to like my desk here and put on headphones, put on some music that kind of mirrors what type of scene that I'm writing, because that kind of helps me get into the headspace a bit.
Mm,
Like if I'll be writing like a combat scene, I'll have like dark electronica or heavy metal playing. Uh, Helps me like get into that mindset and the characters a bit more.
mm,
Um, Beyond that, beyond like just peace and quiet, nothing. I can basically work anywhere. Just the music helps like block out any distractors, basically.
all right. So now, since you are officially a published author, what
Hmm.
advice would you give someone that wants to become an author?
I first advice would be to read in the genre that you hope to write in. I'm not saying you have to read like 1,000 books, but I would say read a highly acclaimed one and not just like enjoy the book, but like probably like read it one or two times and see like how they do foreshadowing, how they do character development, like why do the things that they write work in that particular instance, would be my main advice to new authors, is to like kind of learn from the greats basically and see like how they made their work great. I mean, obviously, yeah, it's not going to work for everyone, but a lot of the fundamentals still apply. Like, what's a good example? Um, like, I'm not the hugest fan of Brandon Sanderson's work. It's just not exactly my writing style or
Mm,
stories for me, but I can still understand. I could probably still read his work and see, like, okay, he does characterization really well, or his descriptions are fantastic. I mean, there's a reason why he's so popular, and I would
yeah.
say that there is always lessons that you can learn from the people that have done great work. And then I would say that something that Jim Butcher said a while back, it might have been an interview of his, but the first story you write is likely not the one that you want to publish.
Mm,
Um, and I would definitely agree with that. Like the first story that I wrote, and even though it was like technically in the same universe, it's so radically different that they're
yeah.
basically not comparable. Like I completely threw that away. Um, and just because you, as you do your writing process, that you just learn so much that you're gonna have more problems trying to get your foreshadowing, get your characterization to work with a broken scaffolding, basically, that it's honestly better to just start over. So those would be my two main things to go through it, and just, just keep writing. Always try to learn from others, because likely the first thing you produce isn't going to be that good. Like mine wasn't. I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you even talk about like Sanderson. I think he had said that he had published, or no, like wrote 13 books before his first one even got published. Like that's a lot of writing, And now look at him; he's top 5 author in the world right now. I'd say. I mean, as far as like sales and stuff, I mean, he's there.
Yeah,
so,
he has his own TV show and movie coming out. So
like he's made it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what other bar you would have, but yes, he has made it. So,
so who would you consider your favorite author, or if you have multiple, your favorite authors?
My favorite authors, I would say, would either be Jim Butcher. I like Michael Sullivan a lot. Tolkien's up there. I haven't read him, but he's still like one of those greats that I still like the story of, and like how he did things. He's still up there. I also really like Brent Weeks.
Okay.
The Night Angel trilogy is still one of my favorites as well.
Those are some thick books too.
Yes.
Those books are huge.
But yeah, I would say those are my favorite authors.
Okay. So if you could put yourself in any story, which one would it be?
Any story. Definitely not mine.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
No. Let's see, what's a mostly, for the average person, what's like mostly peaceful? See, that's the problem with a lot of stories, is that the average person's life kind of sucks because of all the things that are going on.
Need a cozy fantasy.
Yeah, need a cozy fantasy. Like, am I just like an average Joe, or like, do I have like...
Ooh, whatever you want. You can make it up if you want to.
Okay. That's a tough one. I mean, Jim Butcher's is fairly good. I mean, most of their people don't interact with the supernatural. It's kind of just to the sidelines, basically. I think probably live my life normally without a huge amount of stuff going on. And I don't live in Chicago, so...
No. Okay, so I know you said you're a big Star Wars fan. And you hated episode 8.
Yeah.
What's your favorite episode?
My favorite episode, I really liked episode 5. The ending for episode 6, I really liked. I have a partial spot to episode 3 as well.
Okay.
I think that a lot of the dialogue and characterization and some of the plotting have left a lot to be desired, but I do like the overall structure of the prequel trilogy and what Lucas was trying to go for. Like, I love the world building of the prequel series. Like, I love the world of that.
Tone down Jar Jar, and I think it's exceptional.
Yeah,
there's a little too much for him, but yeah. The racing and all that I think's great. Obviously, the downfall of Anakin and all that. That's it's very good. That's the one thing I wish Disney would get out of the way of, is controlling what all they've done. Like, really, they hadn't put out much anything good in Star Wars since they've owned the rights to it.
No,
that's and now we're going to Mandalorian and whatever the Baby Yoda is.
Yeah,
now their movies coming out. It's like, what are we doing? And it's like they can't go past any of the Skywalker people. It's like it has to stop there. It's like, move on.
Yeah, that's That's why it just like it truly saddens me because I grew up with Star Wars, and like a lot of my childhood was watching like the prequel movies and the
Mhm.
originals. And I would not say that like Star Wars is like my favorite story, but like its universe is definitely my favorite. And like I devoured the expanded universe and all of that. I love that. And when I heard like they're making a new Star Wars movie, I was like, okay, like what
Yeah,
exactly from this expanded universe are we going to see? Like I was excited to see that, and then we just saw that it was just basically episode 4 again. I'm like, oh, and then they basically made it all non-canon and just like you had
yeah,
all of this amazing stuff to work with, and you just threw it in the trash. Like it made me so mad.
yeah. I've not read any of the books. Now I've watched nearly all the movies, like even the other stuff like Rogue One and all that. Have you read a bunch of the books or
Yeah, I read the Thrawn trilogy.
okay, that's the
I
one I
read
wanna read. I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. I read the Darth Plagueis book,
Okay.
um, a year back. Yeah, that was really good. Follows like Palpatine's
Mm,
um, rise to become the only Sith, and I just like the fact that he was always evil. Like, there's no like
yeah,
fall from grace. It's just that he was always a bad guy.
yeah.
There's just given more abilities to be bad. That was well written. I've heard that, like, the novelization of, like, episode 3 is also really good,
Okay.
that I might wanna read that at some point, but
Hmm.
I, like, read a lot of the comics as well. I devoured a lot of those in the expanded universe.
Did you see where they're coming out with is it the Darth Maul movie
Yeah,
that's,
I
like,
think it's a
animated?
show. I think it's a
Yeah.
show.
Is it a show? Okay, okay. I thought it was a movie, but I know it's animated. I know that. So, I'll tell you the coolest thing that I've seen out of them lately is the Star Wars Visions. I think that stuff's pretty cool.
Oh,
Just
with, like, all the
random yeah, all the different, like, styles that they have and just random stories. Some of that stuff looks amazing on how they
yeah,
do
I
that.
think Yeah, I think the lightsaber fights really does lend itself well to like an anime
Yeah,
style, and I do think that if they did something like that in the future, it would work really well.
yeah. It's kinda like them bringing back, like, the last, whatever many seasons they've done the last couple of years of the Clone Wars, bringing them
Mhm.
back. Yeah, I think that's really neat, with that whole storyline with that. Um, alright, so I've got about 3 questions left, and they're kinda more
Sounds
for
good.
me, but,
Mhm.
it's for you to tell me.
Yeah.
So, what are you reading?
What am I reading?
Mhm.
I'm reading a little bit of The Empire, the Vampire. I recently got hooked on a web novel actually called The Perfect Run.
Okay.
It's It's about, our world in, like, the 1990s, and a person called the Alchemist. What they did is they just distributed these hero serums, basically, that if, like, you drank them, you get a superpower, basically, and just randomly distributed them to random people all throughout the world. And then, obviously, that led to, like, a apocalypse, basically, as some bad people got access to these powers,
Mm.
and it follows the aftermath of that, where the main character is a guy called Quicksave, and is kind of does what his name is, that he can control time to a limited extent, where he can put a save point where if he dies he goes back to that point, and then he can use all of the previous knowledge he
Yeah.
has, and it follows him trying to get a perfect run where he gets the best possible outcome of in a specific area, basically. And it was actually like really well done, and it made me like really feel for the guy as he does all of these things for these people, and you kind of feel very sad for him because in like previous runs you'll get like romantic connections and like these friendships, and then he'll die, and then those people
Oh,
basically
no.
don't exist anymore because you can't really
Wow.
replicate it. And I'd say it was really well done. The entire series on the web novel is like 1,500 pages long, but it's broken up into 3 books on like Amazon, but it's
Yeah.
all
So
on Royal Road. So
it's almost like a roguelike like book.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Yeah, I just finished that and it was really good.
Okay. So, what is your favorite book of all time?
Favorite book of all time. I would have to say it is the Night Angel trilogy.
Mm,
I really liked the ending, the last book. I would say like
okay.
that sticks with me a lot of just everything culminating together. And I have a soft spot for bittersweet endings.
Mm,
So
yeah. Okay. I need to read those. I've heard so many good things about that series. I eventually will. I just know they're really big.
yeah, they
So
are.
I
But
see
you'll
them at
not
my
be disappointed.
yeah, yeah. I see them at my used bookstore quite a bit, and those things are like massive. They're tomes.
Hmm.
So, all right. Last question. What book would you recommend me to read?
Hmm. Well, besides Night Angel, are you a fan of like gunpowder fantasy?
I have the power. I've not
Okay.
read it, but I've read but yes, it
I
sounds super interesting.
I would read Powder Mage,
Okay.
especially if you liked my series. I definitely got a bit of inspiration from that. I I won't say inspiration because I already was mostly done by the time I read Powder Mage, but it's similar in the integration of like magic and technology. So
I have his book 1 of his newest series. I haven't touched it yet. What is In the Shadow of Lightning?
mm,
So I'm assuming it's something like says book 1, A Glass of Immortals, of the Glass Immortals. So I don't know. Sounds interesting though. So all right. Well, that's all I've got. Is there anything else you want to say about your book or anything besides, I mean, it's out today.
yeah, it is out today. If you are a fan of like Magitech or a more grimdark setting very uh, with heroes to kind of counterbalance the darkness and with lots of fun villains, then you'll definitely like my series. So
All right. Well, we will get off. I will put the Amazon listing in the description on the replay. So if anyone is interested in going to pick it up, then you can get it there. But other
mm,
than that, thanks everybody for hanging out in the chat and showing up and watching. And thank you for coming on the channel. I appreciate it. And I
of
had a great
course,
time.
thank you for
All
having me on. I had a great time as well.
right. Well, y'all have a good evening and see you next time.